So I want to talk about his personal story, how many times he tried and failed, and what kept him going. I want to talk about where he is today and how he got here.
So many ideas. For the first 3-4 years, I learned what does the globalization mean? What does the corporate citizenship mean? What about social responsibility mean? All these new ideas, and I see so many great leaders talking about leadership, and I benefit a lot. We grow from 18 people to 30,000 people, 18 people in my apartment, to now we have a 4 big campus. Compared to 15 years ago, we were big, but compared to 15 years later, we're still a baby.
How big will you be 15 years from now?
I think 15 years ago, I told my team that in the past 15 years, we grow from nothing to this size. And 15 years later, I want people to know about Alibaba, know Taobao, because it's already everywhere. I want 15 years ago when we talk about what is e-commerce, why small business can using this e-commerce, this internet, can do business across the nation. And I hope 15 years later, people forget about e-commerce because they think it's like electricity. Nobody thinks it's a high tech today. Now, this is something that I don't want 15 years later, we still walk on the street talking about why and how e-commerce can help people. We're just a company 15 years old. Average age is 27, 28 years old, young people. We're doing something that human beings have never tried. So
where the headquarters still are.
Yep.
And your campus is there.
You don't have a loot, don't move your loot. Your headquarters there. Yeah, you found it there, loot there.
You grew up in the 60s.
64.
That was the time of the Cultural Revolution.
Yeah, it was the end of the Cultural Revolution. It was, I know how tough it was when I was a kid.
You tried to get into 3 colleges. Mm-hmm. Each time they rejected you.
No, I tried. There's an examination that young people, if you want to go to university, I failed 3 times.
Right.
But a lot of fail. I failed for funny things that I failed a key primary school test for 2 times. And I failed 3 times for the middle schools. You will never believe in Hangzhou, my city, there's only 1 middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to middle school because our graduates of our school, no middle school accept us because we were too bad. Yeah. They would become a middle school.
What effect did it have, though, being rejected?
Well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not that good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I think, by the way, I told you that I applied for Harvard for 10 times rejected. I know I'll be rejected. I just want to say that.
Yeah, sorry now. 10 times you wrote them and said, I'd like to come to Harvard.
Yeah, and then I told myself someday I should go teach there, baby.
I think that can be arranged.
I don't know why at 12, 13 years old, that time I suddenly fell in love into the language, the English. And there's no place you can learn English at that time. There's no books, English books. So I went to the Hangzhou Hotel, now called Hangzhou Shangri-La Hotel, because that was the hotel can receive the foreign visitors. So every morning for 9 years, I showed them around as a free guide, and they taught me English. And I think that changed me. When people talk to me, say, Jack, how can you speak English like that? Why sometimes you talk like an Western guys? I think that was the 9 years. These Western tourists opened my mind because everything they told me are so different from the things I learned from the schools and from my parents. So now I have a habit. Whatever I see, whatever I read, I use my mind.
First visit to America in 1995?
1995, yeah. I came here for a project helping the local government to building up a highway. Yeah.
How did you create trust?
I think because we started about doing business on internet. I don't know you, you don't know me. So how can you do things online unless you have trust? So for e-commerce, the most important thing was trust. I think when I first went to USA for raising money, talking to the venture capitalists, a lot of people say, oh, Jack, no. China doing business by the guanxi. How can you do business on internet? And I know that without the trust system, the credit system, it's impossible to do business. So in the past 14 years, everything we do is trying to build up the trust system, the record system. Well, Charlie, you know, I'm so proud today when I talk to the young. Today in China and in the world, people don't trust each other. The government and people and media and everybody think, this guy's cheating. But because of e-commerce, we finish 60 million transactions every day. People don't know each other. I don't know you, I send products to you. You don't know me, you wire the money to me. And I don't know you, I give a person a package, I don't know him. He took something to cross the ocean, cross the river, and send. This is the trust.
So you keep the money until they got the product.
Yeah.
And then you release the money.
That's true. I mean, the escrow services about Alipay, it was a big decision because for first 3 years, Alibaba is just like e-marketplaces for information. What do you have? What I have? We talk a lot of time, but don't do any business because there is no payment. I talked to the banks. No banks want to do it. Banks say, no, this thing never work. So I don't know what to do. Because if I start to launch a payment system, it's against the financial legal laws. Because you have to have a license. But if I don't do it, e-commerce will go nowhere. So then I went to Davos. I listened to a leadership discussion. Leadership is about responsibility. And after I listened to that panel, I give a call to my friends, my colleagues in my apartment, say, do it now. And people don't like it. So many people I talked to at that time for Alipay, they say, this is the stupidest idea you have ever got. But I say, I don't wear the stupid clever as long as people use it. Now we have 800 million people using this Alipay. A lot of venture capitalists give you money because there is such an American model already there. But they say, Alibaba, we don't see this kind of model, right?
They say Jack's crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy guy. I mean, I remember my first time in Time magazine, they call me Crazy Jack. And I think crazy is good. We are crazy, but we're not stupid. We know what we are doing. But if everybody agree with me, if everybody believe our idea is good, no chance. And this is something that you know, that it's not a mission. If you don't do it, nothing's possible. If you try to do it, at least you have the hope.
The revenue comes from advertising and a smaller amount from transactional fees.
Yeah.
Most of it from advertising.
Tiny.
Tiny from advertising?
Tiny from advertising, tiny from transactions, because we need big mass. Now we have more than 10 million small business power sellers selling our site to everywhere. So the the transactions we have is second after Walmart. So tiny of the money already make us big. The senior management of Walmart guys came to Hangzhou 5 years ago. He said, Jack, you know, you did a great job, and blah, blah, blah. So I said, maybe in 10 years we'll be bigger than Walmart. He said, young man, you have a good hope. So we said, make a bet. I think in 10 years we'll be bigger than Walmart on the sales. Because if you want to have 10,000 new customers, you have to build a new warehouse and this, that. For me, 2 servers.
What's your market cap versus Walmart today?
I don't know, but
maybe
some.
It's close.
I think so. Maybe we should check later. I think because the name for Alibaba, we are internet company, happen to be in China. We have the same spirit and entrepreneur spirit like every great entrepreneurs in the world. I cannot find out a way for the internet And I watched the movie in my friend's home, Forrest Gump. When I see him, I think, this is the guy we should learn from. Believe what you're doing, love it, whether people like it, don't like it, be simple. And like the word, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you can get, right? I never know I would be here talking to you and talking to Charlie Rose. I never know. But today I made it. I told my people in my apartment 15 years ago.
反正我上班了，他们8点钟上班，5点钟下班了。OK，赶紧去其他地方。人家美国人强就强他的硬件，强就强他的系统建设，这方面确实。但是玩信息玩软的，中国人的脑袋绝不比人家差。我们在座的所有的人的脑袋绝不比任何人差。这就是我们敢跟美国人斗的心。如果我们是好的 team， 好的团队，我们自己知道我们想做什么，我们想干些什么的，我相信我们是可以以党输。我们能够赢政府机构，我们能够赢其他很多的民营，凭的是我们的精神、我们的意识、我们的创新概念，以及我们这种拼劲才能去斗。否则的话，跟他们有什么区别呢？谁都知道 ，Internet 是个泡沫。我刚才讲的危机感就是 Internet 这个泡沫现在越来越，什么时候破？然后呢，把股票掉了，哎，eBay 股票会涨。那么有一天 eBay 股票涨了以后，可能阿里巴巴社区的股票涨。我觉得 Internet 这个梦不会破，这个泡沫不会破。我们为后面的3、5年所付出的代价是非常惨重。只有这样的惨重的代价，才会赢得我们未来的取得。目标是2002年，阿里巴巴上市。
Guys, we have to work hard, not for ourselves. If we can be successful, 80% of the young people in China can be successful. We don't have a rich father, powerful uncle. We don't have $1 from bank, 1 cent from government. Just work as a team. Because we also have the same period. Because when it's not a good feeling being rejected by so many people. We also depressed. But at least later we find that the world has a lot of opportunity. How you see the world, how you catch the opportunity. Tai Chi is a philosophy about yin and yang. Yeah. Tai Chi is about how you balance, how you work, like a competition. People say when I compete with eBay, say, you hate eBay. No, I don't hate eBay. It's a great company. They come, I go. Tai Chi is like, you fight here, I go over there. You put it on the top, I go to down, right? So it's a balance, right? You are heavy, I'm small, When I'm small, I can jump. You're heavy, cannot jump. So the Tai Chi is about a philosophy. I'm using Tai Chi philosophy in the business. Calm down. There's always way out. And keep yourself balanced. And meanwhile, but competition is a fun. Business is not like a battlefield. You die or I win. Business, even if you die, I may not win. Right? So it's about fun. So Tai Chi gives me a lot of inspirations. I think 15 years ago, in my apartment, my wife was at that time one of the 18 founders. I asked her, do you want your husband to be a rich person? I never said rich person in China, rich person in Hangzhou. Or you want your husband to be a respected person? She said, of course respected. Because she never believed, and I don't believe we'll be rich people. We just want to survive. The only thing we never give up. The only thing we're like a Forrest Gump. We keep on fight. We keep on changing ourselves. We don't complain. Whether you are successful or not successful, I find that people, when they finish the job, if they make the mistake, if they fail, if they always complain the others, this guy will never come back. If the guy only check himself, yeah, something wrong with me here, something wrong with me there, this guy has a hope.
We have a secret code for Alibaba success. Just like Open Sesame is the secret code for Alibaba. The secret code for everybody is keep your dream alive because it might come true someday. This is what the secret code is.
这么多年来呢，从小到大从来就没有人说过我能干，说过我们聪明，说过马云你有一天会做成什么事。但我真觉得很好奇，居然还走了那么多年，而且居然还活着。我从95年年初，94年年底我就开始做互联网。中国其实商业应用做互联网的商业，我应该是第一个，我比银海威其实早半年。 最后那一个，我就有机会。稀里糊涂的走了那么多年，我是觉得是感恩这个时代，感恩互联网，感恩在这路上很多很多的朋友。当然，特别感恩的是 Silicon Valley 给了我很多的 inspiration。性格之中喜欢挑战变化可能。我爸这个从小希望我专注一样东西，但是呢，我永远没专注过。我认为不专注就是一个最大的专注。他让我写书法，我是甲骨文式的书法啊，我是自己自成一套，因为实在写的太难看，所以我限制我的字写的像画画一样，因为正规写法永远写不过别人，我就画画，反正是独特的，你想怎么画都可以。原因是什么？我们必须去适应这个变化的时代。你只要有心里面，因为有些变化不会有多大麻烦，你不变化一定死，没有机会。你变化了，也许你还有机会。所以我是感谢这个了不起的时代。有的时候活动是政治家要干的，绝大部分的活动是企业家干的，是年轻人干的。所以我觉得，假设阿里能够在这个社会的进步过程中，做点我们能做的事情，变得更为现实。你不管有多大理想，自己能干是最关键，自己能做好。
As remember 20 years ago, I went to Seattle and discovered internet, and 19 years ago, first trip to come to the Silicon Valley. And I was so excited by people, especially in the evening, all the roads, traffic jam. I'm excited by that, especially in the Sunday and Saturday weekends, all the parking lots, there's no place to parking car. I think this is so exciting, which China should have that. And I go back and that's right, now we have a traffic jam, but we all... So we went back and started the business. And for 20 years, survived to today, still surviving. But we want to make this company last 102 years. So we finished only 16 years. There are 86 years to go. So I hope that 86 years later...
Explain why 102. So you started in 1999.
Yeah, because in China, everybody wants to make company for the last 100 years. This become a slogan. Nobody take it seriously. If you want to give, the KPI to your people, it should be very specific. Then people know it's serious. 102 years that we were born in 1999, Alibaba. So last century, we had 1 year, and this century we want to have 100 years. Next century, 1 year. 102 cross-rich centuries. So very specific. So in our company, we never talk you're successful or not, because we think there are 86 years, next 86 years, there are many chances that you will fail. So that's why we say, don't talk about you're successful. 86 years later, we talk about it.
You were kind of a serial entrepreneur. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what did you see when you were at the government. You were coming off of another startup. That part of it was very important to you, because then you went back to Hangzhou and started Alibaba.
Yeah. I went back to China with the Seattle dream of the internet. I believe this thing is going to change the world. I believe this thing will be big. But whether whether Jack Ma and his team can be successful, I don't know. I told the team somebody will be successful, but may not be us. We have to work very hard. So it were tough days in China, year 1996, 1997, and then we go nowhere because I borrowed $2,000 from my friends and families and relatives together. So we compete with China Telecom. They have money, they have the SOE, they're state-owned business, they compete with us. Finally, they cannot kill us because we want to survive. And we, of course, cannot kill China Telecom. So we had a joint venture. They have a 70%, we have 30%. And I was so stupid. I think they really love us, but they got us because they want to kill us. 7 boss seats, they have a 5, we got a 2, everything without even say our idea, say we don't like it. So I said, maybe I should go to Beijing, join the government. Maybe they can help us promoting the internet. So we went to Beijing, joined the MOFTEC, Ministry of Foreign Trade, as a part-time job, contract for 14 months. I work inside, I found government can never, ever promote the internet, make internet business. They are smart, they're good people, but they think, how can I make it using internet to manage and control. But we think we should make not control, making other people develop. So different philosophy, I think it won't work, so I left. And then during these days, I met Jerry Yang, all right? And then I think, well, no chance in the government, no chance in that, and then I believe we should not give up. So I was in a desperate and think a lot. Let's go do it again. So we went back to Hangzhou. I invited the 18 my students and friends in my apartment, year 1999. Most people cannot find jobs. So I say, well, if you have an idea, let's do it. It's not where you are. I don't see it. It's where your heart is, where your vision is. I remember 7 years ago, the senior management, like a vice chairman or something, come to Hangzhou. We have off Walmart, we have a drink in Nagasaki. A drink, and I said, sir, in 10 years, we will be bigger than Walmart globally. He looked at me and said, young man, very good vision.
But,
I said,
but you've always had this relentless focus around SMBs as your core constituency.
that's right.
That hasn't changed.
That has not changed. That's what my answer is, that we will be bigger than Walmart this year, but does not mean that we are good, because we don't want the world has another company who are very able of selling things. We don't think we should buy and sell. We should enable. So now there are 10 million small business power sellers in our site. We give them traffic. We give them the knowledge. We give them the data. We help them deliver, using the third party. So it's the 10 million small business combined together. They are the most powerful economy in the world, and we never change. I think we love small business. We love young people. We love women.
Talk about that. Why don't you talk about the women?
I never know. Before the IPO, there is American media, big media came to us, say, Jack, why so many women in your company? I say, anything wrong? Because we never know something wrong. And then we find more than 52% of our colleagues are women. In the past 20 years, we never got even 1 cent from government, 1 cent from the China banks. Because you don't have any guanxi. Right? So you just have to do from scratches. Training people, develop people, how to manage the money, how to manage the projects, how to do things better. So when we build up this infrastructure, talents, and the policy, and I think they're coming. So these are the areas I'm doing that. This is our hope. Make these people successful. Make these people good. And then they will attract more people going up. Right. If the people who are online are poor, and then nobody will go there. I don't like Chinese movie. All the movies, Chinese movies, the heroes always die. Nobody want to be the hero. In American movies, all the heroes survive. That's why people want to be a hero. Making those people using internet successful, those small business using internet, if they're successful, our business will be successful, more people moving online. So the other thing is that we should work with the government and lower, more infrastructure, lower the cost of using the broadband. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things can be done, but Ali Enter Financing was coming from Alipay. It's a payment system, because we found this company year 2004 because people in China talk a lot on the e-commerce. They negotiate, they talk, but they don't buy because they worry about the money give him and this guy run away. I went to all the banks and tried to convince the banks, can you help me with the payment? The banks say, your business is too small. We don't want it. So we built up a very stupid service called Alipay. It's escrow services. If you want to buy things from me, you wire the money to Jerry. And Jerry will let me know. I got a product, got money, so I send the products. If you're happy, pay me. Not happy, return the money, return products. That people say, year 2003, they say, this is the most stupid idea I've ever heard. Because why you don't use credit card? Guys, we don't have credit cards. So we made that. Today, registered users, just the registered users, close 1 billion people using that. And active No, I don't tell the number, right? We're so big today on that. And later becomes the standard payment for China. And then based on that, we have all the datas. We have the datas, we have to build up the credit system for each individual. So today, my Jinfu, oh my God, it's a private company. It's so big. It's almost, if not bigger than Alibaba, the same size. And I'm happy because this thing is changing China's financial system. And we are also applying for license in the States. We are going to Korea, Japan, and India, and we think this is going to help millions of people in the world.
I think the 7 years ago when we set up the Alibaba company was very difficult. It was very, very difficult to find the talents. First, it's difficult to find the people to believe in the idea. And the second, I remember year 2002, we were trying to hire people, being put advertising on the newspaper and asking friends to join us. It was difficult. But I invited 18 friends, including me, altogether 18 people, 18 founders, and some of my students, some of my friends, some of my used to be my colleagues. So it's just a normal people. I would not say that at that time they were so talented or so great. But after 7 years, these people, I think most of them are really great, and they could be CEOs of many companies. Like me and everybody know very little. We just have a dream. We believe the idea. We believe the mission, and we started. And for the past 7 years, I never tried to convince if somebody wants to leave. And I never try to say, sit down together with him, say, please stay. No. If he wants to leave, I listen and understand, then I come back and check the current system, what I should do to stop this kind of thing happen to the rest of the people. Because a guy he is really decided to leave, it is very difficult to convince. He must have been thinking that for a long time. We've been spending a lot of time building up the culture, the great environment that people really love, the value system. So make people feel that this is the company I want to stay. It's transparent, it's open, it is the place that I can develop myself. And then, of course, the package, the financial package, and also the company that it's unique from others because it's such a new thing you can create. It's not something you're following somebody. Everything we're doing, that we are changing China SME, we're changing the global SME, we're changing the internet. So they feel that the job I'm doing is full of vision, is full of meaning, which I can change 10 years later what China will look like on the e-commerce. And second, they have a very good environment. It's simple, no bureaucratic, no politics. It's just it's a value system they all believe in. And next, definitely they have a good package. Well, I ask them, when they join it, are you happy with the pay we paid you? But because of the tough years, we start to think differently. We start to do things differently that make us sort of unique. And funny thing is probably every year we have a crazy target. And every year we reach the crazy target. Then people say, whoa, yeah, we can make it. So that's what's happening. I don't know, but we have very few people say, Jack, I want to leave. Financially, we are not very competitive at the beginning. Even to today, when people join us, we usually get like 80% discount or 70% discount. These are the people that believe in the dream, believe the mission, believe we can change the future, and believe that we will get well compensated. So they join us, that make the company change. If the people want to come to China, they should have the multinational company. I always give the advice to the multinational company when they come to China to set up a business, they should find the talents with the entrepreneur spirit, not the professional managers. No business to be managed. You come here, you should find the people like startup spirit, do from the little beginning, do everything and just want to win. And for these people, you should give them trust, give them the authority, give them the, just to give them the freedom to do things. If you trust him, let him do it. And unfortunately, I saw a lot of multinational companies, they send people here like most like professional guys. So for those people who already stayed here, if they're full of entrepreneurships, join the startups. If they think that I'm a professional manager looking for the company like Alibaba, today's stage, the different stage. So you got to find a different stage that will be easier.
When I see the entrepreneurs, when I came to the SMEs, I always feel excited. Because when I join the SME conference, I see from the eyes, the dreams, the passion, the hope. It's not how fast your machine is. It's not how many equipments you have. It is how quickly you can change yourself to meet the market. Because the information time, internet, technology make a difference. So the world IT in the last century is designed for manufacture. And this century, IT is designed to help the consumers. So I think this is a disaster for big companies, century disaster for big companies, but it is a great opportunity for small business. For this financial crisis, we see a lot of big companies we never thought they would die. AIG, to me, it's like empire. How could that happen, right? All the the big car companies, which we respect, we always want to be there. But today, they all died. And let's look at the SMEs. We still feel painful, but we are happy in our heart because we still survive. Every big company, they have a different disaster, different problems, but all the SMEs have the same problems. They need understanding and support. This world is not fair. I know, so that's why I want to encourage everyone, all the SMEs here. I still believe I'm small, because when I'm small, I know I can be big. And I hate to be big, unfortunately. When I was a small company, only have 10, 20 people, I feel so excited. Well, I can call every employee's names, and I know everything I want to change. I can change it within half a minute. Now, oh, terrible. It's much tougher than when you are small. So I always believe the first day love is very beautiful. Believe the first day love. Believe when you're small, at least you can have time. When you're big, you always go to board meetings. I give you some today. I come here. People say, Jack, you did not prepare. Why you don't have a PPT? I never prepared PPT. I'm not good at the technology. I was trained to be a high school teacher. Funny things, I'm running one of the biggest e-commerce companies in China, maybe in the world. But I know nothing about computer. The only thing I can know about computer is send, receive, email, and browse. That's it. Because I always say technology is for people not working for technology. But today I come here as an entrepreneur, I'm prepared every day. I'm not prepared for the PPT because every time when I use PPT, something wrong, I cannot use it. So I come here to tell you my own experience. I want to share with you, as an 8 kids father, what I did when I have trouble. When I have trouble, I always remind me 3 things. Focus on your customer, serve your employees, and learn from your competitors. Year 1999 and year 2000, when internet bubble burst, we cannot get any money, we do not have revenues, we have nothing, but every day what I encouraged me go on was a letter of thanks and emails from my customers. Say, Jack, Alibaba, keep on, because you helped us. Someday we will help you. That's the dream I had. So rely on customers, because the customers stay with you. Customers grow up with you. Customers give you the money, give you the hope, give you the support. So focus on customer. And second is rely and serve your employees. It's your employee, it's your team that make the difference. That the employees, that make all the dreams realized. If we say, well, we have so many problems, and big companies have a problem in getting the innovations, how to make things happen. Well, because they did not listen to the employees. They focus too much on the shareholders. The shareholders, well, they give you this idea, that idea, and when you really do that idea, they're gone. And they change all the time, but your employees stay with you. I remember the tough days. It was so difficult, year 2002, 2001. There's only one group of people that stay with me. That's my colleagues. And people say, Jack, you don't have to pay me for 2 years. I will still stay the company because you respect us, because the customer love us. And I tell you one funny thing. Only when you believe your employees are talents, they are talented people. If you don't believe them, they will never be. My mistake I made, year 2000, we raised $5 million US. And that $5 million US, when we have money, we start to make mistakes. I try to hire as many talents as possible. Those talents are MBAs, those talents are vice president of multinational companies, because I believe if you have an MBA, you must be good, right? But when I hire these guys, oh my God, it's terrible. These guys came telling you strategy. I only have $5 million. I remember one of the vice president of marketing said, Jack, this is a budget for next year's marketing. I said, what is that? $12 million US. I said, I only have $5 million. He said, I've never done any plan below $10 million. Look at your employees. Develop them. Only when they are developed, your company will be developed. Why we are so successful? When we are 20s, we become millionaire. What happened? We are very hardworking people? I think there are much more hardworking people outside. Do you think we are smart enough? Oh, I don't think I'm smart. I don't think you are smart. And at that time, in year 2000, it was so difficult for Alibaba to hire people. If they're not that much disabled, we hire them. If they can walk, we hire them. Because nobody believed the internet. Nobody believed e-commerce will work in China. Nobody believed that, internet can happen. But these guys, because they had no jobs, so they said, well, let's come here. So they joined the company, and then those MBAs, those people with great, background, they were a lot of headhunting company. They moved out. They started their own business. Now, today, they all failed. Those guys, nobody headhunting them. Those guys never sort of have the dreams to build up their own company, stay in the company. After 5 years, we all succeed. Why? We keep our dreams. We believe it. No matter how big your dream is, make small, tiny steps ahead and grow with them, grow with the company. And the third thing is learn from your competitors. Don't hate your competitors. Big companies hate competitors. I love my competitors. Without competitors, we will never grow that much fast. Year 2003, when we start, Taobao is a C2C auction model. eBay, my competitor at that time, is $80 billion market cap. We, small, tiny, but we start to compete. It's a lot of fun to compete with big guys. If I start to have a boxing with Mike Tyson, I'm honored, If you have a chance to compete with somebody, if it is a great competitor, you learned. We learn from our competitors. We respect them. Everything they move, you grow. And the other thing I want to share with you is that competitors are the best laboratory for you. Because competitors study you. Any innovative ideas they come, you learn that. Don't copy them, learn from them. So I love my competitors. Every time when I look at them, I always admire. But in China, people say, Jack, you're so crazy. Because 4 years ago, I said, when I look at my telescope, I never see my competitors. And people say, how could you be that 狂妄, And I say, no, I'm looking for examples, models. Why should I looking for competitors? Competitors are everywhere. And when you compete, having fun, the most interesting part of the business is competition. To make your competitors angry, to make your competitors jumping around, that's the skill you should have. Not make yourself jumping around and angry, right? Business is such a great fun. When I compete, if I got angry, if I jumping around, I know something wrong. Because this is a wrong strategy to compete. When you compete, not purposely make your competitor unhappy. If they are unhappy, if they're jumping around, if they try to use money to clear everything, you start to win because they start to lose money. When your competitors start using money to compete with you, they start to lose. Business is about wisdom. Business is about hope. Business is about courage. So these are all the skills, and nobody comfort us. I learned to use my right hand to comfort my left hand when I'm in trouble. You always tell yourself, okay, I'm still surviving, I'm still growing, everything's good, at least I'm still surviving, right? So when you're big, you start to worry about losing something. When you're small, you start to grow. So I always believe small, keep the hope. So these are the things I want to share with you. And the last and most important thing I want to say is never, ever give up your dreams. I want to tell you that I had problems. In the past 10 years, these days when I walk on China, when I look at the airport, a lot of books about me, about the Alibaba, I feel very nervous because these are not books interviewed me. These are books that, all right, we are not that good. We're not that bad. But today when you're something, successful, they start to write good things about it. We made so many mistakes. The only book that I dream to write about is Alibaba 1001 Mistakes. Every mistake, I think you counted, I made it. When I was doing business, everybody said, "Wow, this is the mistake. This guy is going to make. That guy is going to. I'm never going to make it. I tell you, you will make it, and you will make it again, again, again. And when you make it again, again, don't lose confidence. Make it again. You will win." That's all we did. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? So I almost lost my confidence year 2002. I had a big trouble with my team in the USA. I learned from a great consultant guy, joined the company, said, "Jack, Alibaba doing international trade. International trade needs English. Which country has the best English you believe?" I think USA, right. Now, internet needs great technology. Which country has the best technology? We say, USA, right. And we're in Silicon Valley, so we move our Alibaba.com to Silicon Valley. And when I arrived in Silicon Valley, we suddenly realized something wrong. We hired people from Miami, from New York, and from all the where. They all came to our Silicon Valley. And after 3 months, I realized the problem is that nobody in Silicon Valley knows the trade. So what's the point? Have a good technology and English. We are not English site, right? All the small, medium-sized companies across the board, they know exactly what are you talking about, no matter how terrible your English is. Right. So I made a mistake, and I told the people, say, "Sorry, it's a mistake. Let's move back." So after 2 months, we moved back to China again. The funny thing is that everybody was happy at that time because internet boosting. They got a lot of option shares, they got a lot of cash pay, and they find another job is easy. And nobody wanted the shares. We give them 1 cent per share. No share, we want a cash. Now you know they don't believe your dreams. If they believe the dreams, give them the shares, 1 cent. If they don't believe, I want a cash, let them go. And I was so disappointed. A lot of people we hired, they did not want, they want a cash. No matter how wonderful, at that time, it's easy to raise money. People still want a cash. So I said, okay, let's forget it. And I worked for about half an hour on the Beijing street. My colleague was with me. And then I told myself, go to bed, sleep, tomorrow again. So we started. Today, things changed. So I want to tell you, never ever give up your dreams. And today, I encourage myself and our team. It reminds us one thing, that today is very difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult. But the day after tomorrow is very beautiful. Most people die tomorrow evening. If you give up the hope, you will not see it. If you give up your employees, you will never see it. If you give up your customers, you will dead. But if you give up shareholders, you will get a better one. Everybody was very sensitive when I said I'm going to spend 1 year there, and I just come here, I'm tired. Too tired in the past 16 years. I started my business when I started 1994, found the internet, and I got crazy about the internet and give up my job in the teaching, and like I call myself like a blind man riding on the back of blind tigers, jumping around, still kicking and still surviving, and then joined the government organization for 16 months and not successful. Start Alibaba in 1999. And we built up the Alibaba. We are lucky enough to have the Taobao, we have the Alipay, we have Ali Cloud Computing, and so many things. After 12 years, I say, I need some time to rest. Especially this year was so difficult for me. I did not expect. I prepared for 12 years, was in China called Benmingnian. This is our 12th year for Alibaba. We have the Ali Taobao separated in 4 parts. So many things that really make me feel tired. And I said, well, why not give up 1 year? Because next year is my personal Benmingnian, which could be much more difficult. So this year was very tough and difficult. I believe next year is going to be tougher and more difficult and more complex. So I got ready for that. And I think I need a rest. So in order for another 3-4 years hard working, because these 3 years is not my job. If something wrong, criticize the president of Taobao, CEO of Alibaba, and Alipay. It's their fault, because 3 years, their fault. 3 years later, something wrong, my fault. So I come here, and I will spend most of the time in the States, and then thinking, relaxing. And just 2 days ago, I picked up my golf and here. And so we are a very lucky company. I don't have any sort of backgrounds, a rich father or strong uncles. And I remember 1999, I came to Silicon Valley looking for venture capitalists. I talked to a lot of venture capitalists, and I remember a few days when I drive by the Menlo Park, right? I was rejected by so many venture capitalists. When I talk about Alibaba startups, they look at me strange. What? Alibaba? What are you talking about? But I went back to China with nothing, no money, nobody invested in me, but I'm full of confidence. I saw the American dreams. At that time, 1999, I walk on the high expressway every evening, full of cars, and in the parks of the companies, every Sunday, weekends, full of cars, and people working day and night. And now this is something I believe is going to happening in China, without getting any venture capitalist. But I think I went back to China with the American dreams, and we started the business there. And after 12 years, a lot of things happened. We built up the B2B, and nobody believed the B2B would work, because the B2B at that time was good, but Ariba, I don't know, still there? Yeah, Ariba. Ariba.com, Broadvision, and Commerce One, these are very famous B2B companies. People say, how can you do B2B in China? Because B2B in the USA, they focus on big companies. They focus on buyers. And we believe there's no big companies in China. And I don't see there are big companies in the short term that with China we have a lot of big companies. Because big companies only SOE. SOE, they do not need e-commerce. They need is government policy, right? So we focus on small business. We believe China, the small business, the private sectors are the future. So we focus on that. And the B2B in the US, they focus on buyers. They want help buyers to save the cost, to save the time. We believe don't teach the SME, don't teach the small business how to save the cost, because they know much better than you do. You should help them how to make money. Very difficult to do business at that time.
But after 12 years, we got more than 58 million small businesses around the world using our services. That model is not very sexy. Compared to Tencent, Baidu, we do not make that much money like online gamings. But we can sleep well in the evening because the money we make, not online gamings. The money we make is helping small business to survive, to get business opportunities, which I feel very proud of that. Today, as always, I never feel proud of how much money we make. I feel proud how much impact we can help the others, especially small business. Before the history of internet, no company can help over 50 million SMEs. Today, we are trying. And I feel proud of that. This is the first company. And people say, Jack, if you make Alibaba successful, that means you are pulling 1 million tons of ship on the top of the Himalaya. And I say, yes, we will carry that thing down. And we did. The second company is called the Taobao. And everybody say, oh my God, you're competing with eBay. I say, why not? China needs an e-commerce site. And building up the China market takes efforts, takes time, and takes great effort. You really want to build up something. So at that time, people say there's no chance. Well, how do you know there's no chance? So we tried, and I said, if eBay are the sharks in the ocean, we are the crocodiles in the Yangtze River. Never fight in the ocean, let's fight the Yangtze River. It was difficult. It's a lot of fun. And we survived. They got a 90% market share at that time. Today, for C2C, B2C, we're like 90% market share. And lucky, just lucky. There are a lot of things can be discussed in the future. We made so many mistakes. We were so stupid at that time. So I think someday the book I personally really want to write about, as I said, is Alibaba 1001 Mistakes. These are the things people should remember, people should learn. If you want to learn how the other people succeed, there are a lot of lucky things out there. But if you want to learn, if you learn how people feel, you will benefit a lot. And I always like to read those books talking about how people feel. Because if you look into it, any company that feel, the reasons why they feel almost the same. And that really matters. So Taobao succeed, and then we have the Alipay, because everybody say China, oh, no credit system, banking is terrible, logistics terrible, and how can you do e-commerce? I think because China is not good at logistics, not good at credit system, not good at a banking system, that's why we need the entrepreneurship. That's why we should go and build them up. So I believe if there's no, you build it up. Later, this becomes the standard of China. And I believe China needs that. 6 years ago, I came to the States, I told the USA audience, I believe 5 years later, China will have more internet users than the USA. People say, no. I say, well, you have only 300 million population. China 1.3 billion, right? For you guys to have 400 million internet users without anybody dying, keep on having babies, you take 50 years. We need 5 years. It's just the time issues, right? So let's wait and see. Today, we have more users. And today, people say, well, your buying capability is low. Let's see about 5 years later. 5 years later, today, people only spend 200 RMB per month. 5 years later, these guys will spend 2,000. And we have patience. We are young. You know, I'm old, but my people only 26 average age. They are young. And let's wait for the future. So Alipay was just like a very, that time people say it's a stupid escrow services, right? John wants to buy things from Stephen. John does not want to wire the money, and Steve does not want to give the product. So we open an account to say, wire the money to us. If you're happy, we wire the money. Not happy, return products, return the money.
People say how stupid the model is. Well, we don't care whether stupid or not stupid. We care whether the customer want it or not, whether really meet the need of the customers. But after 7 years, we have more than 600 million users, registered users in China using that. So stupid things, if you improve it every day, it's going to be very smart. And we believe that. So today it is good, and it's growing, and it's like PayPal, but we are bigger than PayPal right now on transaction-wise. And the last and most important is Ali Cloud Computing. And not like the other companies, they talk about cloud computing. They want to sell you the hardware, softwares. We have nothing to sell you. We just want computing our own data. Because the data we have from the SMEs, because the data we have the consumers from Taobao, data from Alipay. So we believe in the future, the world is going to be the data processing world. How we can share the data with the others in a great way, right? So that's the thing. That's the business about. It's not that good yet, but it is very profitable. The whole company looks healthy, so we are very appreciative. We are the company full of thanks. We always ask our own question, why we still working so hard? I talked to my colleague one day, and he said, Jack, I never know that in my life I can do that much. Second, I never know that the things I'm doing are that meaningful to the society. And third, I never know that life is damn that hard. We work day and night, even now. We work day and night. I get so thinner and strange. And I understand life is not easy. We feel proud because we are changing China. It's not how much money you make. When you see, I think 10 years ago, when I walk on the street, people thank me because my Alibaba B2B helped them to get orders across the ocean. Today, when I walk on the street, the young people say, Jack, thank you very much. My wife and I opened a small shop on Taobao. We made a surviving. We had a great income. And, you know, this is a meaningful thing. Today, if you have a good record on Taobao, you get rich because people do business with those people with good record. We're teaching consumers to smart. People say, Jack, I bought something so cheap on Taobao. Is that a fake product? But we spend most of the efforts in China. 50% of the people in Taobao, they're focusing on checking the intellectual property issues. But there's a bottle of wine that costs us only $9. But people buy on the street is $300. Why is that? The channels, the advertisement, the TV shows. Why consumers should pay that much? So we cut that. And we make things changing. So tell the consumers, say, this T-shirt, you buy on Taobao, maybe $30 or $15. You buy on a shop, $150. Not because Taobao selling cheaper, because that shop sells too expensive. We should teach the consumers to be smart. After 12 years jumping around, I find that making money is very simple. But making sustainable money and responsible to the society, improve the world, meanwhile making a lot of money is very difficult. And this is what we are trying. 3 years later, I'm preparing for that. And I say, challenge is a challenge. Young guys, let's create a good model for that. You go there, create value for local people, have time, it will have chance. Because we told ourselves, global vision, local win. No matter how wonderful you think, step on the ground and do the things every day.